So, the day has come. Spoilers beware at this point. If you're spoiled by this, I'm sorry. We're talking about Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Eric has finally seen it.
Yep.
It needed to come on Blu-ray before this happened. No hate.
Once it gets to a certain point, you might as well wait.
That's fair. All right, so we're gonna jump right in this. Right, I as soon as I seen the movie, I wrote down all these points. I did like my memory was fading, right? Mm-hmm. But then as I read my points, I knew this was gonna happen, so I made them super detailed, and like I feel like I just watched the movie again.
Oh, awesome! Like
that's how many notes in like details I wrote down. So anyway, let's start off. Eric, you've heard what Matt and I said. Kinda, we vaguely touched on this. Mm-hmm. What's your first impression overall?
Overall impression, I still enjoyed it. I do see some faults in it, and maybe they didn't do everything that I wanted them to do in the movie. Or
I think a lot of people just went ding, 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 ding.
So, I still enjoyed watching it. I still will probably rewatch it, but there was some big things that I would change personally.
Would you agree with that, Matt?
If I was the director.
I think the best way I can say it is, I don't know. I just felt it didn't fit. It didn't follow from the first one very well. It didn't fit to me.
Well,
I think it stood alone by itself. It might have been okay, but when you got all these other storylines going along with it, I think that's kind of the biggest problem I had with it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that this is the problem you have when you get multiple directors involved.
That's what I was going to say.
Who write the scripts.
Yeah.
I don't see why they don't just keep one director to...
Like, did these guys even get together and talk about this?
No. I mean, they did it first. Before all the movies, they took all the original cast, and there was a picture of them all sitting around in a big circle, and they were all talking about what should happen and stuff like that. But this is when George Lucas was still around, and they LucasArts still owned the franchise. They sold it to Disney. Everybody's like, "Oh, this is going to be great." Some people are doom and gloom about it, but
no, I would say I was going to be happy with Disney picking it up, because I would say they're going to do a good job with.
Well, I mean, look what they're doing with Marvel. Yeah, I mean,
right,
you would think they would do a good job, and they seem to do a fairly decent job with Force Awakens. So,
yes,
going into this,
and they kept like this, so the original Star Wars trilogy had that, because it was the 70s or whatever. Mm-hmm. The prequels were way too over the top, like brand new graphics and all that stuff.
Right.
I love the tone that they're keeping with Star Wars now.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
because they kept it with the original series or trilogy. The problem is, I think that this, and here's a pro tip for Disney from a fan, right? At this point, there's only 8 movies, if you don't count Rogue One, right? People don't want to be surprised. This has been well established in culture.
Oh yeah,
from the beginning in the 70s. People want to be fan serviced about this.
There's so much content and so much information out there about this.
Yeah, this is not like the typical stuff where you're like, all right, we're going to reboot it for the new generation. Right. The entire world is there's very few people who hate Star Wars enough to not want to see it at all. Mm-hmm. They're not going to go see it because you rebooted it technically or whatever.
Right.
You need to appeal to the fans, and you need. I guess I don't want to lock people down in saying that you need to do what the fans expect, but at the same time, don't stir the pot that hard. Otherwise, a lot of people are going to be really upset with you.
Right.
And I feel like that's what this movie did. Like,
and I will say that even though it makes people mad or people don't like what's happening, if they come out with another Star Wars, they're going to still continue to watch just because of the name and the franchise. And
well, that's true. I mean, people complained till their face was blue about the prequels anyway. Mm-hmm. And now they're probably giving them praise because they've had a long time to be out.
Right.
So they've been engulfed in the culture. But the difference is, I feel like there's only one thing about the prequels that I was actually like, the midichlorians thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Mm-hmm.
And in the cheesy way they killed Darth Maul, which, by the way, is not the cheesiest death in movie history anymore.
You're talking about this one.
Yeah, let's talk about Snoke.
Oh, you're talking about Snoke.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
There's
Okay, I
another
didn't know.
cheesy death.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't know which one you were going with.
Yeah.
But
that was
Luke's
the
death.
lamest. Huh?
Luke's death is even lamer.
We'll get into that.
Okay.
Luke's death makes sense because he left like Obi-Wan did.
Yeah, that's what I get that, I guess.
But his in context made sense. Snoke died in the lamest way possible. He even in the same scene, he controls the lightsaber before Kylo Ren can grab it and all this other crap.
Right.
But then he's like, I'm going to slowly turn it and stab him.
Right.
A master Jedi. Like, this guy's supposed to be, like, talked about, you know, like he's some god, basically.
well, that's what. I was looking forward to Snoke.
I was too. I wanted some more backstory, know a little bit more about this guy.
You watch The Force Awakens and it's like, okay, who is this Snoke guy? That is the big question mark. Who is he? What can he do? We saw he's pretty BA. I mean, he's sitting there throwing Rey around like she's a rag doll. He's got power.
Yeah.
And he can't notice a lightsaber turn.
Well,
Right.
even at that, it's just not.
Or he's
regardless of that, he's gone now though. It's just that dude got. Not to jump too far, but I will say one of my biggest disappointments was there was all these cool like loose ends that we were looking forward to, like Rey's parents and just other questions to maybe be answered, and they're done now.
Yeah.
I wad up a piece of paper, throw it behind me.
just like a lightsaber.
The lightsaber, exactly. Big anticipation. What's Luke going to do when he gets the lightsaber? It was comical and funny, I guess, but it
wasn't comical.
It didn't make sense.
It was Luke was even. Did you see the compilation of Mark Hamill talking about how bad it was and stuff?
And I give him kudos. He's a true professional because he just went with it because it's his job.
Dude,
Right.
if you take it out of context of Star Wars, everything he did was awesome. If
He
you've
did a
never
good
seen
job.
Star Wars and you watch this movie, it's a good movie. It's entertaining. Everything they did was great. In context of Star Wars and being next in like episode 8, it is absolute trash.
Yeah.
I do not like 90% of what was going on, storyline wise.
Storyline wise, and what they kind of missed out on doing and providing information and getting more engagements.
It just
That wasn't there.
Yeah, I agree. It just really sucks to see such a good movie. Like, it was phenomenal to sit through. It's a great experience. But then you like tie. You're right. You just, you like that storyline? Too bad. You like that storyline? Too bad.
Yep.
You want to know more about this? There's nothing to know.
Is it Ryan Johnson? Is that his name? The director?
Yeah, I don't know if you say it Ryan or Rian, but
Whatever.
Johnson.
Listen here, Ryan. You've watched Game of Thrones one too many times, buddy. And you're bringing that crap into the Star Wars universe. You don't need to kill off every character to make a point. To make it like, the Last Jedi, we're in peril. Let's get rid of everybody that's cool.
So I also wonder, like, since they picked these directors and different directors, the smart thing would have been to pick a director that was very knowledgeable about, the Star Wars
Did they need to
realm, and
They
I think
canceled.
so.
They closed off all the canon.
Well,
They come into it with like the kicking the door down like a riot gear, like a SWAT
doing what I
team,
want.
and like, yep, all that's marked off. We're only going to go by the TV series and the movies,
Right.
and maybe we'll like take some influence from other things. But like, there's never glass in Star Wars, like on the ships and stuff like that, and like
is there not? What are you
it's
talking about?
You mean it's like a different material?
it's Durasteel that's see through.
Okay.
Okay.
But the point is, like, maybe they made the glass, I guess, in Rogue One where he shot through the window to get to the tape drives and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, that should have been steel. Like, you can't blast through it without having the proper things or whatever. Maybe I'm wrong, but that is like what all the extended stuff always
has it
Yeah,
on there.
totally,
Yeah, so
whatever it's
someone
called.
that knew more about that universe and went a little deeper than just watching the movies would understand. But those, or the director, if he doesn't know more of the backstory and know more in detail, of the information out there, how can you make a good movie?
But it's like he came in there being like, you know what? I don't care. I'm going to do what I want.
But I even saw his comments about the what are they called? The Ren Knights, I think.
Oh yeah, the elite Garden Snoke or whatever.
No. The group of dudes with Kylo. That was kind of foreshadowed. I think it was in an image. It was just, and he was asked about that, and he was like, "I didn't have anywhere to put them, and they probably would have died in the battle with Snoke's guards." his Praetorian guard. So it was like, like I said, it's like this dude just didn't care.
Yeah, that's true. They should like this is the only time I ever say they should just delete this movie and remake it like immediately. Don't even make 9.
I was
just
actually,
make another 8.
Well, I was even thinking like maybe a 9. They kind of do the Marvel thing where they tie jumped, and it's like remember X-Men 2 and 3? It didn't happen.
That's true.
All the events in those movies, they went back in time, and that stuff didn't happen now.
Well, they just came out with Roseanne, and they were like, okay, the last season didn't happen.
Have you seen that? Not to get off topic.
Roseanne?
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen it. I heard it was really good.
I heard it just takes up from where they left off.
Well, see, I don't see how, because Dan died.
Right. No, that didn't
in the
happen.
original series.
Oh,
They said the last season didn't happen.
Okay, is that what they said? They got rid of the last season.
Basically, they're saying that season didn't happen. We're going to kind of go off.
Okay, well, if that's the case, just to put in context, the last season was how she imagined what would have happened.
Oh, I see.
It was like everything was done in her head. And then at the end, it's like, well, Dan's been dead this whole time. You need to move on and this and that. It was just like an imagination kind of thing.
Huh.
But anyways, sorry.
I don't think they're going to do the same with Star Wars. I'm pretty positive
As
that
Roseanne?
they're not going to.
No.
Right, they're not going to be like, oh,
That's pretty clear, Eric.
That last movie didn't happen. We're going to reboot it and redo it. So, I mean, I think now that it's out, that's the story that is going to continue on.
Oh no, I agree. That's what we got stuck with.
Right.
I just think that okay, so in The Force Awakens they got rid of Han.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was lame, garbage. That was a terrible idea. They could have or if they were going to do it way more epic or do it way more impactful. It was kind of just like uncharacteristic of the character, I think. Even though you can say that he's way older, the audience hasn't seen enough content to be attached to the older Han,
right?
To think, oh, he's different now. It was just kind of like, that's not Han. And again, this goes back to where I was talking about, you can't bring in new people to do their own thing with Star Wars, because everyone in the world who likes Star Wars has gotten to this point where like, this is what Star Wars means to us.
Mm-hmm.
And you have made, all right, so Star Wars is embedded into culture, whereas something else is not. Starship Troopers is not embedded into culture. It might be a cult classic, but you can reboot that just fine and no one's going to care.
Right.
You can't reboot Star Wars because it is ongoing. It has been ongoing every single year. It's not something that came out, made a splash, and then like 10 years later they rebooted.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess for some people, yes, if you only pay attention to the movies. But the amount of content in Star Wars canon, in games, in books, comics, all that, people have established what Star Wars is, and I feel like the fans know Star Wars more than the actual people writing it.
Oh, that's probably sure.
Or at least the directing it.
Well, directing it, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's sad that,
which I'm guessing the director is writing the.
He did write that.
He did.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope he's fired. Anyway, so let's talk about some of the scenes though. Because I've got a lot of bullet points. I'm sure Matt has a bunch of them.
Mm-hmm.
Do we go to the epic thing first?
Oh, we can, yeah, sure.
We're gonna start off with the most epic move in a sci-fi series ever: the kill by warp speed.
Yes.
Okay.
Warp speed maneuver.
What'd you think of that, Eric?
It was pretty good. Yeah, I liked it. I didn't know if you were talking about that or Poe when he was doing that battle in his X-Wing, he did like a Tokyo Drift kind of thing.
I actually wrote down Tokyo Drift X-Wing.
That was pretty fun.
So that was a pretty nice move there.
But did that happen before? That
was in the first scene.
Oh, that was in the first scene. Yeah, that happened. I was like, is Matt really for serious? Is that what he's talking about?
Yeah, no, that was not.
And then it happened, and I'm like, the setup to that was amazing. The fact that they cut out all the sound and it's just like,
it was just quiet.
It's so anime.
Right.
I was just so, it's like, oh man, if this was a Japanese anime, this is what would happen.
Right.
Like they kind of like they make a slash, the screen goes black and it's just like slashes all across the screen.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, it was so good. It's like such a simple concept
did some
too.
things right.
Somebody else probably made that up.
Yeah.
What's that?
That scene.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, it was an impactful scene. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, the movie itself is a really good movie.
Yeah.
Like, what's happening? It's only when you dive down into the deeper, like, attaching it to other Star Wars films and canon, where it becomes incredibly problematic.
You know, quickly, I will bring up, I was never a big Laura Dern fan. I didn't care much for Ellie Sattler. I mean, I like the character, but I wasn't ever really attracted to her. But that purple hair...
Oh, yeah?
Oh, my God, man. It brought her eyes out, and I got a little thing for Ms. Vice Admiral there.
Oh, yeah.
Fair enough. Matt, we'll just kind of rotate topics, points and stuff. We're not going to do chronologically or anything like that.
Yeah.
So just, or I guess maybe, did you bring that one up?
What's that?
That top? What? Oh,
No,
we
you
talked
did.
about, yeah. So go ahead and bring out another one.
I'll bring up, the comedy aspect.
I was going to do
Were
right.
we trying to make this a comedy?
Which I didn't like. I didn't feel like it kind of fit in.
Yeah, at times
Like,
it was
It was like overly
forced.
stupid or
Yeah,
forced. Such as, real quick on you,
I
like
might
when,
not be remembering all this. So
oh, dude,
cue me in.
it's like a comedy movie.
when Finn comes out and he's in his little water
Yep.
suit and it's just splashing everywhere. Do you remember that?
And even
Yeah, I remember that.
Poe was like, "What? Finn naked, leaking?" And it's just,
just little like snippets there.
yeah, and it even sets the tone at the very beginning with Poe messing with General Hux.
That was
when
a
he
little
trying to-
was funny, but yeah, it wasn't. It
You
was
didn't-
kind of off.
You didn't think nothing of it though, but it was like when you look back at it, it's like he was straight setting the tone.
Yeah.
Right there with all the comedy bits. I mean, you just think like
When he's being defiant. Is that what we're talking about?
no, when he's trying, he's like
He's yelling him and be like,
he's like
I can't hear you.
yeah, I can't hear you.
So he has
and
to repeat himself, and he's like, "What was that?" And he has to repeat
They're
himself.
trying to pull the improv Han Solo.
yeah, he's just trying to kill time. So I guess he's trying to download something so he could get the shields down or something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but Luke throwing the the lightsaber. And I will say the thing with Rey, the oh you're so powerful thing with the twig or whatever it was he was hitting her hand.
Well, he was like, I forgot exactly what he said, but
Reach
like
out
reach
and
out
feel
for
it.
the
Yeah.
Oh,
for the force,
hit her.
and she reached out for her hand, so he smacked her with this little leaf.
So I mean, there was times
That was funny.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
kinda
saying.
funny.
because he's like not literally idiot.
yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there was times it was funny. I mean, Leia telling C-3PO to wipe that look off his face was pretty good. But
That's pretty subtle. Yeah.
Yeah, the subtle humor, I do enjoy that. Like, Firefly has subtle humor and stuff like that in it, and some humorous stuff, but it's not like the stupid humor.
okay,
or
but you got
whatever.
the same feel that I did then. It was
Yeah.
like just tons
Like-
of comedy.
like not even really humorous comedy. Like you're trying too hard, kind of stuff.
right.
Like almost like to appeal to the kids kind of deal. Like, why don't you just-
Maybe.
Just to make it more fun, and that's the way he thought it would
Yeah,
do
maybe
it.
that. Make it more
Like-
fun.
I feel like Force Awakens had just enough of it.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Like
like
especially whenever BB-8 put his little
Yeah.
thumbs up thing. That was
Right.
awesome. 'Cause
so
that-
that's cute, and there's funny aspects to it, but it's not like I'm trying so hard to incorporate humor into it.
Exactly. I never felt once in Force Awakens that anything was forced.
Right.
It felt like it was organic and it fit the moment kind of thing. Like Finn trying to, I don't know if he was trying to pick up on Rey or just to impress her, but he's like, oh yeah, I'm with I'm with the rebels, and it's clearly not, but you could just tell by his mannerism, he's real uncomfortable
yeah.
saying it. And like I said, it was just a little bit more organic, and all this stuff was just really forced and unnecessary a lot of times.
Yeah.
That's fair. No, I kind of I start to remember little pieces here and there. I mean, some of it was kind of cute and fun.
I mean, although Chewie eating the porg was
Oh yeah.
funny.
The porg moments where. What do you guys think about the porgs?
Well, now that I know that
they had to be in there.
Put them in there because they had to cover up the birds.
Right.
yes, yeah.
Well, that's fine.
And it wasn't like they weren't the Ewoks.
Yeah, they weren't Ewoks, and they were pretty cute. And then the porg scene with Chewie was pretty good.
I feel like they weren't in there enough to be annoyed by them.
Right.
And I think that almost like the people in general took it farther than what the movie actually intended them to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they
weren't
just
in there
freaked
a
out.
lot.
And was like, whole merchandising,
And it was.
It
No,
was.
Let's
Yeah.
not say it wasn't, but
But I think that was a reactive merchandising thing, though.
Yeah.
I think
Sure.
the fans were like, "Oh, they only put these in there because
Oh,
they're
right.
cute." Blah blah blah.
Exactly.
They're
Oh, I
like,
love it for
everybody's talking about them, so make some plushies.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the only time it bothered me was when the one did the battle cry on the dash with Chewie. I think that was the only time I was kind of like, because I know the bird wasn't there for
Right.
that scene. That was implanted specifically for that.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was okay when Chewie was like, because they're roosting inside the Falcon, and so he's like shooting them off everywhere because they're making nests and everything. But just the little guy on the dashboard was a little annoying.
At least it was a quick scene.
Yeah, it wasn't long.
And really, if they took out a lot of the other little comedy things, that would have been like the BB-8 scene, half a second long. Oh, that was cute, funny, ha ha ha.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't mind the porgs.
Yeah.
Porks were good.
But I mean, speaking of Luke and that whole island and stuff like that, okay, the mirror. Did that make any sense to anyone?
The mirror.
Oh, the mirror. Are you talking about when Rey
with
goes
Rey.
down in the
It's like-
cave
Yeah.
and she's like, snap, snap, snap. It looked kind of cool, but
Well, that's what I'm
didn't
saying,
make
like,
sense. No.
Ryan's probably like, hey, Industrial Light and Magic, can you all do this? I had this cool idea for some graphics.
Yeah.
Can you make 1,000 rays that just kind of have a delay?
And I assume that was supposed to be something like the cave on Dagobah.
I guess.
Because I don't know. It was the thing drawing her kind of. Even though I guess Luke wasn't drawn to that cave, he was kind of there and kind of warned about it, but decided on his own to.
So what
to
was
explore,
evil about
but-
that cave? Does anybody know?
You know,
It's like,
I don't know. I mean, unless look, if you're looking at it from I just watched the movies perspective, that scene made zero sense.
yeah, I was lost. I don't know.
There might be some stuff written about it in some books or whatever, canon and stuff. But I haven't read any of the new Star Wars stuff since Disney's owned it outside of just the movies. So it probably will end up making sense. But here's the thing. Just like Destiny, the game, I don't want to read your stupid website and books to find out how to enjoy your main content.
Right. It's like that should be in the movie and make me understand, while you're going through it or before you go through it, what kind of context you're trying to portray.
that stuff's like added bonus.
Yeah.
If you want to read it and explore further, then it's kind of like, oh wow, that's even cooler than what I thought.
Exactly.
Right. There's
but
even
it
more
shouldn't-
story there.
You shouldn't need it to explain.
Right.
Exactly. So you're talking about killing off storylines and stuff. I'm assuming some of that was relating to her and her parents.
Yes, and that all the theories from Force Awakens. Oh, she's related to Obi-Wan. There's all this crazy stuff going on. No.
Oh, well,
just-
a lot of people say,
He
said
could
that,
just be saying that.
saying
but-
that, right. Kylo's just saying that.
I even wrote that down. He could have been lying to her. Yes, but it just seems, why not? He's done it with everything, all the other storylines. I would not be surprised if that is what happened on this.
Which I don't see why she has to be, ancestor to, Skywalker or anybody else.
She didn't need to be, but it was just,
It would be nice if you're going to continue the Skywalker bloodline for your actual series and the content that drives it.
Yeah.
You can't just kill off that just because you want to reboot Star Wars. They're already gonna do that with the other. Apparently they're giving Rian Johnson his own trilogy. Which
I was about to say. That's what I thought I heard.
they should. That's fine because this movie was great. And if he's doing his own thing off to the side with his own characters
what
and
he's doing?
story and stuff, no, it's all brand new.
Yeah.
Is not Star Wars related or
No,
No,
it is.
It is
It's a
Star
off-
Wars,
offshoot.
the new trilogy or whatever.
Okay.
It's its own trilogy. It
In the
does not
same
have-
world.
It's in the same world,
Different
but it's all different
characters.
characters.
Gotcha.
Put him over there. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Right.
But he does not need to be touching this stuff anymore. I mean, that he messed it up, honestly. But I mean, he made a great movie. It's really conflicting. This is like multiple identities in myself.
Well, there's a
I
lot of
hate
great
it all.
aspects about it, and there's good scenes, but was it a good movie overall?
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. I think it was a good movie. It's
I think
just,
barring the whole Canto Blight.
if this was the only Star Wars movie, I would be so thrilled about seeing the sequel. That's what I'm saying. I don't know how you guys feel, but
No, that's what I think. I even said that at the very beginning. It by itself was fine.
yeah.
But when you put all the other story arcs and everything that was supposed to be carrying over, no.
Yeah.
I went down with it.
It's like he came in and said, "You know what? I don't like what they're doing in the other one." Or killed it all off.
Yeah. And there was memorable, cool scenes. I mean, Poe, anytime he's in an X-Wing, is just it's gold.
Yeah,
I just
he is
love
phenomenal.
love watching him in an X-wing. It's awesome. It's been great in both movies. Yeah,
I like how did you feel like he backseated Finn in this movie? It's like he backseated him.
you know, I never thought of it, but yeah, he's well, I don't know. He did get the big
the scene that should be deleted. Yeah,
the whole storyline that should not be there. Because
What was that?
where they go to the casino thing.
Yeah.
Oh, mhm.
That was probably the worst part of the entire movie.
And
It's
the-
like you
the
did all
animal-
that and there was no point to it.
the animal escape. What's his name? I wrote it down. Benicio del Toro.
Oh, yeah.
Is that right?
Of the code breaker?
Yeah, the code breaker. DJ is what he's called, because I think it stands for "Don't Join." Supposedly, I don't know if that's
right.
official or not.
Yeah, I don't know if they actually have a name for him in the show or anything.
Yeah, well, it is
Or-
DJ.
Is it?
Yeah, DJ is his name. But
How'd you feel about him?
he was. I liked his character.
Dude, if they made him a main character, I'd be doing backflips.
That
was pretty dope.
I anticipate you'll see him again.
Oh, if you don't, I'm gonna be upset.
Yeah, I'd almost bet you see him and he probably double crosses the First
Empire.
Order or whatever.
Or the bad guys to
Right.
get with the good guys. Dude.
I'd almost anticipate that happening. But there's been other things I anticipated. Like, did you feel Kylo Ren was probably going to go good?
I think that's part of the,
I think he did that as a facade to get.
No, I think that's an inner battle.
I mean,
You
it's
know?
an inner battle, yeah, but I
Right.
mean, it kind of. I don't know. I don't think he ever was on the verge of going good. I think it was a facade to get
Ray to join him?
Ray to join them. But at this point, this storyline means nothing to me. This weird love affair between those two is like the dumbest thing ever.
And evidently Snoke wasn't controlling them or doing the thing because they bridged gaps after he was dead. So
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with that whole deal.
Yeah.
Well, I think now they can.
I mean, at this
maybe
point,
bridge gaps
they're
a
just
little
going to
bit,
make
but
them brother and sister in the end, and it's going to be, I mean, that'll pretty much be like the Star Wars we knew.
There you go.
Maybe that's where they're going with it. Who knows?
I don't know. Like that love affair, that's stupid. And
Also, it kind of blew my mind that another thing that, wadded up, tossed behind him, what did we identify Kylo Ren with? His mask.
oh, yeah. But I guess I'll
right.
smash
Yeah,
in 2
I guess
seconds.
I just don't need it anymore.
You
Bye-bye
didn't like it?
marketability. Sorry, Disney. You figure something else out to market this dude because it ain't the mask anymore.
In Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, there is a masked one and a unmasked Kylo Ren.
I don't know. Like that would have been cool if it happened. Okay, look, if Snoke would have stayed around and been a god, right, and then that ends up being who they need to team up with each other to kill in the ninth movie, like Rey and Kylo Ren. Like he's like, okay, I'm good now. Let's fight this dude, which is kind of the same thing they did in Star Wars, the original trilogy with the
Right.
Emperor. But, whoa, excuse me. If they did that, I kind of lost my throat went off and I just kind of lost my train of thought here. But if they kind of did that, right, then
You would like that. You would make it. It would make a good story.
yeah, it would have made a good story. What did you just say before all this? I totally lost my train of thought.
What I was gonna say, I remember. I do like that in
He
this
said
movie.
he said the masked and unmasked
Oh,
Kylo Ren in the video game.
I do like Kylo Ren as a character, and I do like.
Oh, I remember now. Okay, stop.
Okay,
Go
that's
ahead.
why I said it.
When he smashed the mask, it would have made sense if he was actually turning good because he's like, I don't want to be this person. And then he
No.
joins the good guys
Right.
and then they fight Snoke. That would have made sense on why he destroyed the mask and was like, I'm done with this kind of deal.
No,
Yeah,
he pretty
he-
much just destroyed it because
He was mad.
he was mad
He was
because
mad.
Snoke made fun of him.
Right.
And said he was a child.
He
trying
bullied
to-
him.
Right.
Right, yeah. So it would have just been cooler if it was like the persona of Kylo Ren is this mask and he destroys it to not be Kylo Ren anymore. That would have been so much more impactful in the ninth movie if they kept a higher evil alive.
Now, what's the chance of a spider Snoke?
Or what?
Spider Snoke.
Like a spider,
Like
spider Darth Maul?
Yes, like
Yeah.
Spider Darth Maul.
I mean, he
Nah,
sat
they-
there and was lifeless.
Yeah, his tongue was hanging out, but
Yeah.
still, it'd been.
Oh, was it?
Who knows?
Yeah.
It'd been funny.
So I do like that it did give a lot more backstory on Kylo Ren and how it gave him a backstory. It didn't do that with Snoke like I wanted it to, but at least it did give backstory on one main character.
Yeah, and that shirtless shot
Yeah, right. His 24-pack.
Yeah.
The thing about that, like, it was kind of neat because it's like you almost hear two sides of the story going on at the same time.
Yeah.
I thought that was well done.
Oh, you talking about with Luke?
Yeah.
Or actually, that was awesome.
That was pretty
I loved
awesome.
that it was like, yeah, exactly. It was like two sides of the story that, were vastly different.
Yeah, because I mean, it really was the same thing, but then it's like
How he sees
a
it.
perception on each side,
Right.
which is really indicative of the Star Wars universe in the first place,
Sure.
to a degree.
And the Ren Knights I brought up were actually supposedly the theory is the when he went to the temple, he took some and killed the rest. The Ren Knights are supposedly the ones he took with him. So
Oh, okay.
And yeah, and they just were in a scene, and that was it.
yeah, I think it was like a scene from Force Awakens. I could show you a screenshot of it.
Oh, I mean, they weren't even in
They
this
weren't in
movie.
this
They
one.
were not in this movie.
That's so dumb. Oh man, why? I put something on here that says that was a fun surprise. Like we said, I don't remember what it was because it auto-corrected it to the word today. Today was a fun surprise. I guess the movie was great that day. I don't. But some of the other points I have. All right. So first, Luke pulled the. Oh man, when he got shot by all the artillery and stuff like that,
yeah.
I was like,
Oh, that's awesome.
Luke's he's a god at this point. He's gonna come through and just destroy all these vehicles and stuff. And then you find out
It was just a force image,
that was the most disappointing thing ever.
and he comes out and he just brushes his shoulder.
That was actually really funny.
I didn't like the brush your shoulder kind of thing.
Mark Hamill, he destroyed it. Mark
I
Hamill, he outperformed everybody in the movie times 10.
I did like his one little dodge move he did, where he kind of he leaned back
Like a
and
limbo.
spun around and everything. It was more him getting back to his feet is what looked good. It looked
Swift, smooth.
swift.
Like Michael Jackson was dodging some lightsabers.
The only bad thing I will ever say about the original Star Wars is just the choreography and the fight scenes, which they were
advanced.
not. They were
Right.
exactly. It's advanced a lot since then.
I mean, look at Rogue One, Darth Vader.
Yeah, and so it was nice to see Luke kind of actually pull off some of these new age moves.
Yeah.
For a second.
That's true, because, he fought really conservatively or whatever back in the day where it's like, hit my lightsaber.
Yeah.
Don't try to hit me. Whereas in the new So, I don't know. Like, I felt like it was a very incredibly missed opportunity to allow Luke to be, to show his master. But I guess at the same time, like,
Right. Yeah, that's another thing.
he wouldn't be the master Jedi if he was just a complete badass with a weapon. So he's showing that he's so powerful with his force. Maybe not, because he goes away at that point, but he's so powerful with the force that he's not even on that planet. Of course, I did like the X-wing shot in the water. That was cool.
Yes, it kind of gave you the Dagobah.
But he should have just been like, you know what, we got this. X-wing's out of the water. He hops in the driver's seat, drives it with his mind.
There you go.
That's another thing with the whole story arc is, unless I'm misunderstanding this, wasn't the whole point of the map and they're seeking him out was to get his help? And then again, wad it up, toss it. I'm done. I'm not doing anything with this.
Yeah, even these stupid books. We don't need books.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Why would you on the island protecting these Jedi manuscripts and stuff for centuries or whatever, and you're like, burn it.
Burn it.
Yeah.
Which they survived.
There was just a lot of things that
You guys noticed that, right?
Yeah,
What's that?
yeah.
The book survived.
yeah.
Because that's how she's going to become a Jedi.
And
She's going to basically take YouTube lessons.
yeah. Speaking of that though, I will bring up Gratz on Yoda puppet.
Oh yeah, dude.
They used an actual puppet for Yoda.
Yep.
So it was
Oh,
really
did
good
they?
to see that. Yeah, that was a puppet.
Yeah. Instead of like the prequels where they did all CG for Yoda.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
That's why it looks so traditional Yoda.
Right. Traditional Yoda, much better.
Oh yeah.
And then talking about lost opportunities, I believe that they kind of messed up on doing the scenes with Rey and Luke where they should have kind of had them come together more, do more training. Their training was
She basically learned nothing.
right.
But
Nothing.
seems to be very powerful already. I think that's
Right.
what the somewhat of the problem people are having is like you go back to Luke and Yoda. I mean,
Right.
he spent a while there and doing all this stuff to become the Jedi he is, And maybe she's just that good. I don't know, but it just doesn't make sense.
Right. Especially if she comes from no bloodline of the Skywalkers, which first off would be a disgrace to Star Wars in general, because you are continuing this Skywalker line. Even Disney said that we're going to make new trilogies that aren't part of the Skywalker saga.
Well, that would mean this one is then.
Correct. And that's what I was getting at, is like, so basically why you're removing all the Skywalker stuff from this one.
Right.
I mean, I get that you want it to end, but don't end it with one person that has nothing to do with Skywalker being the forefront.
You know, maybe they'll surprise us. Maybe Luke will have a hefty role in the next one as a Jedi ghost.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was I don't think Luke should have went away. He should have been like the ending scene going away in the last movie. I think. I mean, he should have stayed around.
In the series, if they're at that point.
Yeah. And at that point, he's like, you are now a Jedi. You don't need me. I'm out. Peace.
Right.
Dab.
Yeah.
But we're not done yet, though.
No.
I'm telling you, you got a lot of stuff.
I've got a few more, yeah.
I got a few more.
We're moving. All right. So it sounded like we were winding down, but no, the complaining is real. Let's talk about that kiss between.
Well, I've already said that whole thing is dumb.
Which kiss?
I'm talking about.
You're talking about Finn and
Rose.
And Rose, yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that happened outside of that scene anyway, but.
I just think the whole thing with them.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense.
That was the why. Did you at any point during this film get the idea that they were romantically involved or even remotely liking each other, other than her fascination with the fact that he was a hero?
Well,
Right.
It might be one-sided.
That's pretty. It was obvious.
It looked like a very one-sided kiss, if it was anything.
Yeah.
But I just didn't. I didn't like that whole thing.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Rose and Finn. It sucks for Finn because, like you said, he was on the back burner. It just seemed like he was kind of like,
And he's a cool character too.
Oh yeah, I love Finn. I love Finn in Force Awakens.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think of if Finn met his demise? Would you guys been okay with it, or you
If
guys
he died, that wouldn't make any sense.
right there? You know, well, it kind of made sense then because
Well,
he was
Finn, yeah, but I mean,
right.
you could put guns near the heads of heroes, and it doesn't make sense that you would just have them die at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like if Jackie
he was
Chan
there to
died every time a
sacrifice.
gun was next to his head in all the movies he's been in, it'd be like, oh, what do you want to do for the next 45 minutes?
Right.
I don't know. Like, I don't know.
He was there to, sacrifice himself to save the day kind of thing.
But I don't know if all it would have stopped was the inevitable end. They would have got in or come in from the back or something. It wasn't like they were going to go, oh,
No, they
he
needed
took
something
the battering ram out.
to get the door.
Basically, they needed an entire story arc, a subplot to happen in order to introduce the best character of the show, which we're talking about DJ. That's the only reason that entire thing existed.
Possibly, yeah, I can see that.
I mean, I'm kind of sarcastic, but at the same time, like it was excellent that he came in. He is literally a fresh take on a character in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything like his little mannerisms and the weird stuff he was doing, it's so Star Wars. Everything about him was awesome.
Right.
I was like, oh, if this character better be like becoming
Ongoing.
like it better be an ongoing character. Yeah. This is the Boba Fett of the new series or new trilogy. You know, where like Boba Fett came in and was like, hey, look at me. I actually suck. But then everybody's like, whoa, he's dope. And then like
Actually, I wrote down that Phasma is the Boba Fett
of
the trilogy.
Phasma was the icing on the cake that I said. I bolded this line that says, "This isn't Game of Thrones." ... Because like Phasma just died. I mean, everybody just died in like the most lame ways.
She died before, but she
And
came
then
back.
she came back, and then
She died now, but
How did she die in The Force Awakens?
Huh?
In The Force Awakens?
She was on the planet that blew up.
Yeah, but
Unless she escaped somehow.
she did escape.
There is a whole, yeah, that was part of the. I think it's on the. There is something I think that's a story about her escaping. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. She got out of like a trash compactor and did something, and she got off the island.
Well, I think that's where they threw her down
planet.
in, right? Then they throw her down like a big shaft or whatever.
Yeah.
I think, and I guess that's where she was in the trash compactor, possibly. I don't know. Whatever. Okay, so
There's stuff
Yeah.
that says she did escape.
But why? I mean, at that point,
brought her back for here.
Bring her back for another 5 minutes.
It wasn't even 5 minutes. It was like
it was like 2
1
seconds
minute
of Lane
battle.
fighting.
Yeah, not even a good battle.
And she's a cool character.
She
is.
awesome.
And
they underutilized her.
Yes. So that's why I give her the Boba Fett. I mean, she's not probably quite as cool, but she's got just as many lines, and she dies ridiculously.
And she has cool armor.
Yeah. She's got cool armor. You can't shoot her.
That's true. Yeah. Oh man, it's just,
you know where her
that whole
armor
scene
came
was
from?
Garbage anyway. Because I mean, a big hole rips through your ship, and no one's getting sucked through it. I guess shields, but at that point, your shields are down if your hull's taking damage. Come on, people, this is like amateur crap. Anyway, sorry. What?
Actually, I'm going to go off on something else that just popped up in my mind here.
Oh, squirrel.
It was for me like the worst scene for me. It was Princess Leia going Superman back to the ship.
Yeah, that's not a good way to show how her force has evolved with herself.
I wrote Leia using force, so this is actually a good spot for me.
Okay, cool.
So I thought it was, I don't know. I didn't like the whole scene. I don't like what happened there.
It was kind of really.
Yeah.
Are we gonna bring Goku into this? I mean,
She's like,
Yeah, it's really
flew
odd.
through the air.
I like the scene when she's in the bridge and the look she gives to the camera right before she is violently sucked out
That
of
was a
it
fine
in this
scene.
fiery fireball.
that was like stomach dropping.
Yeah,
Like,
and,
what?
and,
Did that just happen?
and what if they just left it there?
That would have been crazy. I don't even know. Like, that would have been. I actually would have stood up and clapped. Like, not because Leia was dead, but like, that was straight Game of Thrones for real right there.
Yeah. I mean, you lost her. Akbar got killed in it too. So
Which actually
That's garbage because it happened off screen, kind of.
yeah,
No,
but it was
same time.
I would imagine he's in there with her, or
She
was he on a
was.
different ship?
He was on a different ship.
Different ship, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I thought they were together right there.
Which, by the way, Game of Thrones. I mean, you don't have to kill off every character.
They were
in order.
together. They were together.
They were.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
Akbar
pretty
died right there.
He captains his own ship. Why did we be on the one with Leia?
Like, it wasn't captaining that ship.
We're gonna Google this.
I'm pretty sure. I kind of read up on it or something.
I thought he was an admiral, anyways.
Well, anyway, yeah, Admiral Akbar.
Yeah. Right.
Which ship was Akbar on? Let's find out live. That this ain't happening.
Yeah. Whatever.
It's not
right.
important, but yeah. Either way, let's just say they were on the same ship. But what I read was that he died off screen because I never saw him on screen.
They just announced that they lost him or whatever.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
No,
I'm pretty sure.
Pretty sure that was the scene where he died.
I don't think so because they announced it and then like she sucked back in on the same ship that was still there.
Yes. Right.
But he wasn't on that ship.
No, he was dead. He got sucked out with Leia, but he did not Superman back.
He would have been in the bridge.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's true.
If he was there. So.
But I thought they announced like over the intercom to the ship that she was on that Akbar was gone.
No, it was the girl when they were announcing who was going to take over. That's when they were bringing in Holden.
Well, fair enough.
But yeah, so I didn't really need, I don't know, just to go off what you're saying, that it was a bad way to show that if she's force sensitive or has the force or whatever, that was just an awful way.
Well, she's still
present
alive,
it.
so there you go.
Well, it depends on what you mean by that.
Yeah, depends on where they're going to go with that.
Right, because, Carrie Fisher passed away.
Right. They
But
actually expected her to die in this movie.
Huh?
A lot of people expected her to die because Carrie Fisher's gone, so she wouldn't be able to.
Oh, well, she made a full, a recovery, though.
She did. But I know a lot of people expected her to die in this movie.
Oh, because she died before the movie was released.
Right.
But they were already done filming. I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They get her, kill her on this so they don't have to use her in the future.
That would have actually made the scene even worse because it's like, oh, I'm a force sensitive. Back on the ship. Oh, I still died.
No, yeah.
It's like, really?
Yeah, I don't know. I think they should have just left it with the explosion.
Honestly, at this point, if it would have been an explosion and it was that, it would have been the same like when I saw Ares die in Final Fantasy VII.
Right.
You're just like, that was so sudden and crazy.
I didn't expect it.
Dude, yeah.
Especially because he's you got Kylo taking his thumb off the button. He's going to let up, and then I guess his support just says, "Oh, good, here,
we'll do it for you.
Let's take care of this."
Yeah.
Right.
Whereas like the Han Solo scene's like, really, I saw this a mile away.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, come on. Oh, yep, he died.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. But yeah, so like I think it would have been more impactful that way.
Yeah.
In all aspects. Like it would have been straight like that's like heart-wrenching type of impact.
And then that's right after, Kylo, like you said, not going through with it.
Right. And it
happens.
And that's the type of death scene that or like stuff that's going on that actually takes the story into what they wanted it to be, where it's like they're being beat down.
Mm-hmm.
They were.
They were being beat down.
They're getting killed.
Yeah, that would have been like, for real, we are straight being beat down. That's when it's like, we need Luke. And then Luke comes in, power level 9,000, murders everything. But no, he comes in, it's like, check out my Mirage that you could have had a hologram for.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I saw that stuff at like, yeah, I've seen Tupac do it. I mean, it's not impressive. Anyway, that was very obscure. Look up Tupac hologram and you'll see what I'm saying. Well, any other points, Matt?
I'll look around. Keep going.
Oh, I was trying to do the same thing. The mirror, the porg, the hacker. Oh, okay. Who was the girl with the glasses from Force Awakening? The glasses are tied.
Maz.
All right, so Maz. That whole scene was garbage too.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I thought was funny was the union dispute. But again, it was. That's
more. It makes it. It's funny to you. Yeah, like
exactly. But it was just. It was more. It was forced humor though.
It was forced humor, right?
Kind of what we've been talking about. So
Matt's in a union. That's why I said that. So it's like it's kind of funny from his perspective, but at the same time, the scene itself, like who's on a cell phone call doing this stuff?
Right.
Yeah.
It was like, come on. Of course, that could die with the whole scene anyway.
Mm-hmm.
The whole casino thing.
I think. Well, exactly. That would have took. If we would have chopped out the part we wanted, it would have took that part out.
Yeah.
Stupid race thing. What about the kid that evidently looks like he's force sensitive?
Oh, at the end of the movie or whatever.
No, I think I kind of missed that. Did he do anything special there at the end?
He brings the broom to him.
Yeah.
He actually brought the broom.
Yeah.
Down? I missed that. Just that 1 second.
It's really dark where he does it, but he does bring the broom to him.
And here's the thing, okay? So in the Star Wars universe, you have force-sensitive people, and you have force users. It doesn't mean that if you're force-sensitive, you're always going to become a Jedi. The Jedi is a path that utilizes the force, extensively or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Being force-sensitive just means that you are in tune with the force, but you may or may not have the midichlorians. You may or may not have the ability to further it past like moving a broom, or further than making like a sixth sense type thing.
Mm-hmm. Where like Leia was probably force sensitive.
Well, no, she was
previously.
She was like really force. Like she had enough force in her to become a Jedi. I think if she really wanted to. Mm-hmm. And as a matter of fact, I can't remember if in the books. I think her children does. The children become Jedi or something.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't read those story arcs, so I just kind of, it's like hearsay.
I think I read something where she did do some training.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I kind of get why, we talked about this during the Force Awakens thing, why they had to kind of destroy and make legacy of the old canon, because it would have driven everything new down a very predictable path. But they didn't have to get rid of the stuff that happened already. Like starting from where Force Awakens and went forward, sure, eliminate all that. Because in the canon, Luke, crap happens, he becomes the new Emperor. And he actually becomes a bad guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for a whole series. And it is a phenomenal series. But then, I won't even get into spoilers because I really think you should read it. Or anybody listening. But... so I think that they couldn't have just went with the story that was already written in canon, because that would have forced them into doing that.
Right.
And everybody would just be like, okay, why don't you just make movies out of these books? And that, like, I don't think anybody would want that per se. So they had to kill off the stuff that happened from when Force Awakens started and going forward. But I don't know why they got rid of all the other canon. And they I don't know. A lot of missed stuff. Which goes back to the whole, I just repictured the lightsaber thing on how cool that would have been, and it just ruined it. Oh man.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that is my. Oh, Luke provided some nice Han Solo lines. He kept Han Solo alive. Of course, I mean, he brought the dice to her and stuff
right.
too. That
Yeah,
was
the
pretty
dice. I don't remember the lines, but maybe he did
cool.
say
Just some of
something.
like the snarky, sarcastic lines.
Oh, right. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Even though that, I don't know, that's pretty cool. Mark Hamill did a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
No, he did.
With
yeah.
what they gave him. He's basically like, this is garbage. Everything you do is garbage. I don't like any of it. But I'll go in there and bamf it up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did a good job.
That's what a professional does.
That's true. Anyway, I'm out of things. Do you want to?
No, I'm out.
Anything else?
That's it for me.
I think we can all agree at this point. Then it's phenomenal movie, garbage in the series
Yeah.
or saga.
A lot of
much.
missed opportunities, and they didn't tie up some stuff. They didn't give any more back information.
Yeah.
So,
And I don't even know what I'm looking forward to in the next one.
There's nothing to look forward to. It's only what they present to you now.
Yeah.
yeah.
There's
Well,
really
it's going to be Rey versus Kylo.
Yeah. I mean, we see that Rey has become stronger, obviously. So
I'm only looking forward to DJ at this point.
yeah, and I guess we know that DJ's probably going to pop up again. But yeah, it's just I don't know what I'm looking forward to. It's not Finn and Rose. I know that.
No, yeah. And it's not like Rose was a bad character or Finn's a bad. It's just like that doesn't make any sense.
There wasn't
Right.
chemistry there.
Correct,
With
yeah.
them, so yeah, you're right. It didn't make sense.
Yeah.
So is it going to be Finn and Rey? I don't really see that.
I don't know
there
if that's
either.
a brotherly or
Yeah, I don't think anybody. I don't know if that's going to turn into a relationship or not.
Or Rey and Kylo.
I don't know. I mean, maybe if he turns good, but why would he turn good at this point?
because he wants to be with Rey.
Yeah.
They eliminated the one reason why he would turn good, specifically because they could have had Snoke take the place of the
The bad guy.
bad guy.
Well, it's obvious he's power
Was that
hungry.
what is it called?
Antagonist.
Antagonist. I don't know. They should just bring Darth Maul back again.
The spider form.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Anyway, before we move on to the last topic, then let's talk about. Have you seen the trailers to Solo?
Yes.
I have not.
Oh my god,
Yes. Yes.
dude!
I know they
it
were
looks
out,
good.
but I haven't got a
in.
chance to.
Yeah.
If Disney just keeps making these one-offs, I'd be fine.
Mm.
I guess at this point, if Disney gets away from the Skywalker thing, it's probably going to be for the better. Because look at Rogue One,
Pretty good.
dude.
Right.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And like the Solo movie so far, the trailers, you're like, yes, give me more.
Yeah. It looks
Do you
good.
know if it's going to be like a series or just a
It's
one-off?
one-off.
Okay.
It's him and like when he's like early teens or something or late teens.
I'm not sure. I don't
See,
know the age
all that's
range.
pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, get the backstory.
It's how he got into being a smuggler.
right.
And like some of the scenes, oh dude, it is so good looking.
Yeah.
I don't know, like as I watch the new trailers, I'm kind of seeing the actor who's playing young Solo. I kind of see him working out. At first I was like, this kid, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But it's starting to really
Set in.
yeah. And I think that when the movie comes out and we actually watch it, I predict within 20 minutes you're going to be like, he's nailing it. I predict.
Good.
We'll see. We'll see.